folks, Rich out at Cold Harbor Ranch, and I run the Equitable Solar Solutions program, and I'm on the board of directors. And today, I'm out here to show you some of the modules that we have available that if you make a donation to Cold Harbor, we have some reused modules that we've tested. Electrically, they're very good. We found some minor flaws, a little cosmetic mostly. We think they still have a lot of life in them based on our electrical testing. So what we've got here, this is a 80-watt module here, photo watt, made in France originally. And so this module or say maybe you just want to direct wire this into a 12-volt fan or a 12-volt LED light system or a 12-volt pump, whether it's a diaphragm or a flow pump. So anyway, it's already got, this one's pre-wired. You'll want to actually open up the junction box and wire in probably your own length of cable and set it up like you want. If you need more power than just a single 80-watt, you can wire these in parallel, and it's still going to be that same 12-volt application. You just get more amps out of it. But anyway, good module. You can see it's still in great shape. This makes about 80% of the original power. Its module was made in the early 2000s, so it's almost 20 years old now, and it's just a little bit more than 80% of original power. This one's a beast. The frames on these, it's a little bit heavier. Frames on these are really sturdy. This is SolarX. Back in the 80s, SolarX was the top PV module manufacturer in the U.S. And it's because they had learned how to mass produce these types of cells, which are called polycrystalline. And they did that a lot cheaper. That's how they were so successful. The frame is really heavy duty. Good solid backing here as well. Again, it's got a junction box. You'll want to open that up and wire for your application. This is also a 12-volt application too. Let me show you the other 12-volt module. This is Kyocera. Kyocera's still very much in business selling solar panels. They are the Cadillac line here. And this module is great. We found one little nick on the back side, and so we're going to just kind of put a little bit of sealant in there to make sure the moisture stays out. But electrically, this is still really good. This is making about 87% of the original power of when it was brand new. Kyocera's have aged really well. A lot of modules, they lose about 1% per year, but the Kyocera's are doing better than that. They only lose about 0.7% output per year. Great modules though, and again, junction box on the back. And a lot of these modules actually come with the weather-tight connector, but you may, depending on what you're doing, may need to get slightly different size for the size of cable, whatever. But good module there, again, for 12-volt applications. Last one. This beast, this is a 200, so that was 120 watts on that Kyocera. It's 60 watts on the SolarX, 80 on the Photo Watt, and then this is a 230 watt module from Conergy. Conergy's still making modules. This one, I think, is making 91% of brand new. This is a donation off of Bank of Colorado in Boulder, and they gave us their old modules. But this one, you can see the back here, slightly different setup. If you were going to, you can actually open up this junction box and get at it, or you could use these existing wires. This module actually puts out 28.8 volts under load, and so you wouldn't want to use it for a 12-volt application like we've shown you in most of our demo videos. This would be for, say, if you had a stock tank heater that was in the 24-volt range, or if you had a ventilation fan for one of your growing buildings, livestock buildings, those fans, you can buy those online, DC fans that take higher voltage. So you could directly wire into either of those loads, or if you wanted to set up your own mini cabin system, you could use 24 volt modules with a charge controller, 24 volt battery bank, and then a 24 volt DC to AC inverter, run all your normal AC loads. But this is a great module as well. Just wanted you to see what some of our inventory looks like. Again, all of these modules, we have tested them electrically, and electrically they're fine. That's all. Thanks.
All right, hey everybody. We're out here at the Cold Harbor Institute today. We're going to show you how to set up a simple solar water pump system. This is a super standard 75 watt panel. The pump we've got down there is 12 volts, and this panel is rated for 17 volts. So obviously, if you're going to have this set up out in the weather, you're going to want to have the proper UV rated wiring and some better connectors. But yeah, it's super basic, and yeah, I'll hand it over to Austin to show you how it works.
Alright guys, so all we really need to do to start pumping water here is complete the connection. Down here we have the positive and negative wiring. Just got to take this cap here, wire everything up, complete the connection. I get out of the way of the panel, and water starts pumping. Simple and easy. This is a really great system, guys. All you need is 4 major components. You need a panel, access to direct sunlight, the pump itself, and a body of water, and you're good to go. You got water on your property, rural or municipal. Hi guys, as you'll see here, we have the same system as before, but on a slightly larger scale. You'll see here that we have 2 100 watt panels as opposed to a single 75, but all the same principles apply. We're still pumping water, we're still moving it around, and it's still great for your rural property.
And yeah, if you'd like any more information about this setup, please feel free to reach out to Equitable Solar Solutions.
Hi everyone, welcome back. So today we have 2 greenhouse applications for you. One is a small circulation fan and the other a greenhouse light. So here we have 2 panels set up on a very simply constructed wood frame, which can be put up quickly with any scrap wood laying around the farm. And you can contact Equitable Solar Solutions for any questions about alignment, and we'll help you there. So the panels are both 75 watts with enough current to power 2 12 volt DC fans, which you can see right there.
And over here we have a 12 volt LED fan that can be powered with a solar module right here. So the first thing you need to do is you need to look at the color of the wires, and you need to set the white wire to the white wire and the black wire to the black wire, or the corresponding colors. There could be a few different ones. You can flip them around and find out which one. It shouldn't matter, but you just connect them, each wire to the other wire, and then once you do that, you can connect this permanently with solder or wire nuts.
Welcome back, guys. Right now we're going to show you how to set up a small cabin system, or a system for your road trips this summer if you're living out of a vehicle. So right here we have a 75 watt panel from Equitable Solar Solutions. On the back here we can see that we have a rating of 75 watts, and we're going to have 4.4 amps. The reason you're going to want to take note of the ampage is when we move over here to our charge controller. These come in anywhere from 12, 24 volts. This is a 12 volt system, but the important thing to note is that it is only rated up to 30 amps, which means that no matter how many panels we have to make sure that the total ampage stays under 30, or else it will not work. This charge controller is connected to our 12 volt battery, which in turn is connected to our 80 watt DC to AC inverter.
800 watt.
800 watt DC to AC inverter. that in turn comes over here and is connected to our fridge. If you're looking to do something a little bit larger of a load, such as a microwave or an instant water pot heater, very simple fix to that. You can get you can have 2 batteries set up, and you can get a 24-volt in charge controller, and you can up the inverter to the specific size that you need to be able to power. Few things you want to note is that on our solar panels, right now we don't. This is a weather sealed connector that you're going to want to get if it's going to be outside with UV protected coating. And then when you're working with tools around this, you're going to want to make sure you don't have any metal that's going to be long enough to cause a short, as that can be dangerous to your health and the people around you.
Alright everyone, welcome back. Today we have 2 more applications for some solar PV and agriculture. We're going to be talking about stock tank water heaters and electric fences. Both of these can be used anytime the sun is out and shining, just like it is right now. And they also can be used off of a battery setup, which Taylor's going to explain a little further.
Yeah, so this is a stock tank water heater. It can run fully off of solar. It'll be connected to, discussed earlier, like a charge controller, a battery, and then your PV panel. And then as long as these are connected, it'll run off the battery at night when your water is most likely to freeze over for your livestock or any of your animals here in Gunnison. And then same thing for your electric fence. It'll keep running 24 hours a day as long as you're connected to the battery and the panel, and you'll have no problems keeping your animals in.
As always guys, safety is first, so just make sure you're being safe and careful when setting these up and using the correct UV rated and insulated wires and cabling. Thank you.
Hey folks, Rich here, and I'm going to tell you about how to take your golf cart and make it run 100% on solar power. All it takes is a little foresight. Get it? Forward! Anyway, so what we've got here is one of our reused solar modules. This one's 120 watts. It is a 12-volt module, or 4 12-volt applications. Whereas if you look under the seat into our battery bank, we have 36 volts worth of batteries, which is standard for this size golf cart. You also have golf carts, the larger ones have 48-volt battery banks. So the biggest question is, how do you take a 12-volt module and get it to charge a 36-volt battery bank? I'll step around to the other side where I can show you a little bit better. The secret is this special charge controller by Genasun that is specifically made for golf carts. And it will take a 120 watt module, 12 volts. It will multiply the volts by 3, but divide the volts by amps. So you're still getting at full power 120 watts, but the voltage is stepped up to 36 volts, just at a lower amperage. And that's fine for charging up these batteries. This charge controller costs about $130. The other costs in the system are, we've got about 20 feet of PV wire, which is ultraviolet light rated. We've got a few connectors. We've got these nice little feet offsets to mount our module. We happen to get them to line up with the screw holes of where the roof mounts to the frame, but if that doesn't work out, you can just drill through your roof with a longer screw and get some washers, and it will hold on just fine. And that's really it. That's all you need on the system. So very low cost. You can do it for about $200, and then you never have to plug it in again.